and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Shelter Confusion Thursday night hangout.
Hello, good sir, and hopefully we both make it for the next hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, Atlanta is experiencing severe thunderstorms, so if this does not actually get made into a recording, that's why.
Hopefully there's no explosions, fiery infernos, disconnection of limbs, or anything of the above.
Yes, that would be bad. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific counter himself, Zealeus. This is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a live show. We try our best to cover the topics most important to you. If at any point during the show you have any questions or subjects or topics or opinions that you want to share with the class, please drop it in the chat of your choice, be it Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and we will try to add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And the first thing we got to talk about, actually, the first thing to discuss is something that only Zealeus can discuss because I haven't even attempted nor tried this, and that is Season 1 for Diablo 4 has been released, and apparently the queue wait time is atrocious.
It started today, so I haven't actually had a chance to sign in.
Oh.
But yeah, I did open my BattleNet to get like the update, and I saw a notice across the top of like, sorry for the queue times. And all I'm thinking in my head is like, there's no way that there's more concurrent players now to start Season 1 than on launch day like a month ago, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so like what happened in the last month or whatever it is, like were they Blizzard like, oh, not as many people are playing, so we're just gonna like get
scale
rid of
down.
Yeah, we're gonna scale down because we don't need them now. So like, what actually happened? It's kind of amazing to me actually that they lost their scale. It's like how it I know I talked about this at launch, but it's just kind of fun to me where they like biggest of the AAA developers. This always seems to happen.
Yeah,
or it's like, oh no, we have people playing their game. We don't scale.
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of throws me for a loop is the fact that the game's out and they haven't had this issue, and then magically all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way, we now somehow screwed ourselves over.
I mean, I guess like everyone apparently came back for Season 1, maybe, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this weekend, I will get to actually jump into Season 1 and see what all the furor is about.
But of course.
And
I'm trying to see if they give an exact number of how long people are waiting, but all I'm seeing is unusually long queue times.
I would guess people on Twitter probably have screenshots.
That's true.
Of what is their queue time.
Dunno. But
of course, Twitter is dumb now, and I must be logged in to see anything on Twitter, so I give up.
Thank you, Elon Musk. Also, yes. I've heard that there's been quite a few people who have also run into issues of creating a new seasonal character for Season 1.
You mean the whole reason that you would probably sign on today?
Yep.
To start your Season 1 character?
Yep. And people can't create that new seasonal character.
I mean, unfortunately, if the queue times are crazy, that's kind of what happened when it launched. Is there was the errors you would get when trying to create a new character. So I guess that in a weird way would not be altogether unsurprising.
It just seems like they're falling backwards. It's odd.
Oh no, for sure. It's absolutely stupid. I agree with that. But welcome to the new age of always online games.
Also, speaking of Blizzard, the merger date with Activision Blizzard and Microsoft has been pushed back into October. And added to that is that if either company decides to terminate it before the October date, the penalty for termination is skyrocketed as well.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so. Oh,
yeah, they're all kind of balls deep into this.
Yes. Continuing with this Blizzard train, how about the fact that Blizzard is going to start allowing their games on Steam coming soon?
I saw that. I'm kind of fascinated because, like, they put all of their work, I mean, a lot of work into Battle.net.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of all of the developers, that's actually one that kind of surprises me because, like they're their first person titles and they're ones that people like actually play.
Yeah.
So that one, I'm surprised. Like when Guild Wars 2, like I guess like 6 months ago ish, went to Steam, like that didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of games like that, or like when Final Fantasy 14 went to Steam, where it's like those big titles that you want people to just casually see that might not have known about it otherwise. But I feel like, and those games are also, no, actually, sorry, 14 is not free to play, but Guild Wars 2 is free to play.
Right.
Makes sense. But like, if you're a gamer, you know about Blizzard games. Like, it's not like it's a shock. Like, oh, Diablo 4 is out. Hot damn, it's now on, Steam. So I will see this now.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. And actually, the one reason I'd be happy is whenever I restart my computer, Battle.net freaks out. I have to like X out and restart it. Or once again, guess what? The one game launcher I have that never bugs out on me.
Steam?
It's amazing. Where every other game launcher like has spastic issues from time to time, except for Steam.
However, so there are those weeks where I swear to God, I feel like there's a new version of Steam like 7 times. It's like, would you like to restart Steam and so you get the latest and greatest? I'm just like, didn't we just do this?
Okay, you are right. That has happened. And then I'm like thinking in the back of my mind, like, are these actual new versions, or is Steam just crapping itself when it's trying to update? It doesn't actually update, and we're just creating like a perpetual gaming for loop, and it just doesn't know what to do.
They've tricked us. They've taught us so well that we don't think that it's a crash. We just go, oh, cool, new features.
My biggest question though will be is your library in all of its glory actually transferable to Steam? Because the issue is a lot of games, like take Final Fantasy 14 is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Your licensing for 14, if you bought it through the, they call it the mod station,
mm-hmm.
the mod station to be able to play it through the native Final Fantasy 14 launcher is not transferable to Steam. So if you want to like launch Final Fantasy 14 through Steam, you have to rebuy all of the expansions. Guild Wars 2, I know like there's things that aren't transferable. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it comes down to the Steam wall because Steam gets their cut.
Right.
Which I get. So that'd be my biggest question is, I mean, so many players have, like, again, Final Fantasy 14 when it came with a new expansion, perfect time, put it on Steam, you got all these new players because of Endwalker, which caused them to actually, like, pause purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
Guild Wars 2, whole new crop of players because there was a annoying player base. Well, but like, what's going to happen to those of us who already have content on Battle.net, which is a lot of us?
Yep.
Because of how that works with the Steam wallet and the 30% off the top. That's what'll make it interesting to me.
I wonder if they're gonna, but Blizzard will push for the free to play to be on Steam,
like Overwatch, because you're right, Overwatch 2 would have been a perfect candidate to have a day one launch onto Steam.
Yeah,
like that would have made perfect sense. And my guess is the Steam, but like to your point, Overwatch 2 numbers are having some fluctuations.
They're in the toilet.
Yes, it's swirling quickly.
Yeah.
And this is seen as a way to get some numbers back into the Overwatch 2 game.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got Overwatch 2, which is free to play, and then you got Diablo 4, which is $60.
Right.
Or, yeah, whatever it is. So that's, yeah. Because imagine a lot of us who bought, if you're going to pay the full price for Diablo,
mm-hmm.
my guess is the majority of us have already purchased the game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to now purchase for full price just on Steam until there's a sale, which eventually there will be a sale for it.
Right.
So are we going to, I don't know. It is an interesting choice to bring the game to Steam. Now, most of those games launch through the native game launcher anyways, which makes it interesting. So who knows?
I guess we'll find out. But let's just keep going on this Blizzard train here. There is another bit of news, and that is that Blizzard has just laid off 50 employees, all in their esports division, as the future of the Overwatch League apparently is becoming more and more of a question mark, to the point where all the current owners of the Overwatch League teams are being pulled together, and the top question on the docket is if they want to do away with city-based franchises. So instead of having the Atlanta Reign or the Toronto whatevers.
Mm-hmm. And that's obviously what was supposed to differentiate and make Overwatch League interesting.
Yep.
To have kind of that home crowd, cheering for your team. And I don't think that the city-based squads was the issue so much as it is just the waning popularity of Overwatch.
Well, I think, okay, yes. I think that there's always been two issues. One is, the staleness of Overwatch became very, 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 very apparent. The other thing is you have city-based franchises that do not have home games.
Well,
okay,
yeah.
So it would be like, like starting up a new football team for St. Mary's School for the Blind, okay? And everyone who goes to St. Mary's School for the Blind is expecting to see their team. Well, actually, shit. That's a very bad joke. Because that is terrible, Charlie. Let's just say, we'll just go with University of Georgia, okay? It'd be like expecting to go to Sanford Stadium to see the Bulldogs play football on Saturdays, when in actuality, their entire schedule is they play home and away games in only one location, and it is in Dallas.
So you're saying we're now the Dallas Bulldogs?
Yeah, no, you get the right to be called the Georgia Bulldogs, but they only play in Dallas. That's because that's basically what Overwatch League is you've got a bunch of city franchises that don't play in those cities. They play, I think it's in Vegas, or was it, no, somewhere in California.
I mean, I think all of it is, esports is still a very niche audience. I mean, I know there was the big aspirations. There was going to be like, this could be at ESPN and all this stuff, but it's just, I don't see esports ever taking off in the way that they hoped it was. I think it comes down to, at least in my opinion, is, games like football and NBA and baseball, like, major league player sports, like, we have little aspirations of becoming professional athletes. And even from a sports perspective, like, a lot of us, once we get, older, don't play sports at all. I know someone's playing basketball, and I probably believe basketball is really one of the only ones, because You maybe got the occasional softball team, but none of us are playing football usually.
No.
Whereas, anybody can hop in and play a game of Overwatch.
Yeah.
And a lot of people become really good at these video games. And I would argue that, watching an NFL game is going to be much more entertaining than watching an esports game. In general, that's just kind of feel like it's just not as interesting to watch esports.
Well, I think we've talked about this like off and on forever since esports started showing up on TV screens, and that is it's not only the game, but in the way in order to make it successful, in my opinion, it's not just the game, because the game could be exciting and fun, but it's in the presentation. Okay, like if you watched a football game where you get, I don't know, like crossfades of kind of like highlights of plays, but you only get to see the flow, and then maybe you've got someone who's talking like super duper technical shit, you're going to lose some of the audience. But I just don't know. The thing is, with a video game, it's built first to play, whereas, with sports, you're putting a lot of extra oomph into the spectator portion. What makes it interesting? That's why baseball now has a pitch clock.
I think a lot of it is also the personal connection, in that when you watch, so Netflix has the quarterback show, right?
Yeah.
Which I've been watching on my lunch break. And that's, to me, a big part of sports is, I know we cheer, a lot of us cheer kind of for our home-based teams, but a lot of us then cheer for specific players of those franchises. When you go to Atlanta Falcons games next season, you're going to see a lot of Bijan Robinson jerseys.
Yep.
I'm sure they're going to be the number one seller. So you get those personal connections because, he's the guy actually running the ball. Yep. Whereas, if you're watching Overwatch, it might be FaZe doing his thing, but he's not the actual character. I know he's controlling him, right? But he's not actually the one he's not the pixel itself. So there's definitely that personal connection of the face. And as they call it, the face of football, like right now, Patrick Mahomes. Yep. You can actually look at him and see his hair and his Head and Shoulder commercials, and he's this dude. Whereas you just don't get that. And you probably look at the most popular esports people, and they're Twitch streamers. Yep. Because, you're watching it side by side, and you see right now it's probably Asmongold in whatever he's doing, and you notice those guys, when they're streaming, their faces on their stream the entire time. Yep. Because you have that personal connection to that one person. And yes, it might be a 6 versus 6 player game now, but it's still, you have that connection to that one player while you're watching that stream. So I think that's the other part of, we're living kind of vicariously through these other, whether it be pro sports or esports, whatever it is. That's why we do it. That's in TV. That's why I usually have that character. I know there's a term for it. I can't think of now. But there's usually that character who's meant to be our connection to the show. Mm-hmm. They're the most normal one. That's why we watch shows. That's why we watch sports, is we can relate to these people. And I think it's just really hard for us to constantly relate to electronic characters.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And I think to your spectacle part, it's also, and I think there's actually a problem with football too, is what are you concentrating on to display to the audience? Right. If you got I always thought this was an issue in MOBAs, where, it's, you got the 5-on-5, but you could have 3 different lane fights going on at once. Mm-hmm. Which one do you kind of concentrate on? Right. Obviously, NFL drives me nuts because they've obviously decided to concentrate just on the quarterback. But sometimes I would love to know what's going on just with the wide receivers. What are they doing? Sometimes it would be kind of cool to know. Yeah. But they just show the quarterback. Versus esports, you kind of what are you going to concentrate on? And what angle do you show the fight from?
Right.
I mean, there's so many different ways. Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, I agree. But it'll be interesting to see what the future of the Overwatch League is. I know that there's been so much money sunk into it that I don't think it's going to go away. But still, there's got to be changes.
Yeah,
And
I mean, there will always be the competitive Overwatch scene. Like, that's not going away. I just don't think. I mean, I don't think it is pretty obvious that it's not going to be in the incarnation that they'd originally hoped for.
True, but maybe they find the secret formula. And I'm going to be blatantly obvious, or not blatantly, well, blatantly, and be very blunt about this. It is not just the franchises that need fixing; it's the game.
No, you're absolutely right, and I think, kind of contradicting myself here a little bit, but like, if Blizzard did not screw up the popularity of Overwatch in the way that they have,
Yep.
It's very conceivable that, I don't think it would ever be as popular as they hoped it would, Overwatch League, but it's very conceivable that the Overwatch League would have been able to at least succeed in the capacity that they wanted to. But between the, lack of content for basically 3 years, and now players being very vocally unhappy with the direction of Overwatch 2, that's killed a lot of what could have been the potential popularity for the Overwatch League. Because I definitely think Overwatch 2 is still making money hand over fist for Blizzard because like 99, I mean, all we see on Reddit are like the angry gamers.
Yep.
I know we talked this last week a little bit, but overwhelming majority are still playing Overwatch 2. But the problem is the people who are watching professional esports, guess what? They're that vocal 5 to 10% of your players.
Yep.
So it's kind of like when you when you piss off the most vocal player or players or audience, you've also screwed up your esports audience at the same time.
We were speaking about professional sports, and I had the perfect analogy now for how I feel Blizzard handled the Overwatch 1 and its professional league. It would be basically this. Imagine a football game where they put they give the kicker the football to do the kickoff, and then that's the football they play with for the next 2 years. There is no other balls. You have to play with that one. That's what it felt like. If it fell apart, well, put some duct tape on it. Gorilla glue it.
Now we're playing real man football, how'd you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You cracked your helmet. We'll just put some cement paste on it. Boom. But anyways, okay. Let's move away from Blizzard for a second. Actually, let's make sure here. I don't think I have any more Blizzard topics, so I think we've killed it.
Thank God.
Now, I did see something recently, and it excited me greatly, so I'm going to bring it up, and that is the fact that the mastermind behind Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo is teaming up with the director of John Wick to create a new anime series, and it is called, I want to make sure I get this right, it is called Lazarus. It is... let's see. Lazarus is set in 2052 after the world has been given a wonder drug that cures sickness forever. However, 3 years later, the inventor of the drug announces that it was secretly a slow-acting poison that will kill anyone that took it. A special 5-person task force called Lazarus is then put together to find the doctor and stop his plan in time to save the world.
It sounds like somebody with the COVID conspiracy theory would have created.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's almost like a take on Resident Evil.
Yeah. No,
It was not the T-virus. It wiped out mankind.
I'm gonna have to watch it when it comes out, whenever it comes out. Um, there is a rumor that there might be in 2 days when Adult Swim has their kind of like summer anime fest party, that they might have some more details, but that's just a rumor, has not been confirmed. So
It's interesting to see how the John Wick makes the transition from live action TV or live action movies to anime.
well, you're talking if you're looking at Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, those are two very action oriented anime to begin with. So add in some of the John Wick direction, and it could be some sick stuff.
That's true.
I'm excited, man. I really, 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 really want to know about that. Speaking of things we really, 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 really want to know, ladies and gentlemen, Lionsgate Studios has finally revealed the release date for Borderlands the Movie.
Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Borderlands the Movie is finally going to be released on August 9th, 2024.
Oh, wow. So we got a ways, is what you're saying.
The reason for the delay is that there has been many a reshoot needed in the making of this movie. However, from my understanding, the people on set have said that the individuals who were picked to play the characters, specifically Cate Blanchett, who's playing Lilith, and Jamie Lee Curtis, who's playing, of course, I forgot what her character's name is.
The Doctor.
Yeah, the Doctor. Those two apparently are like basically perfect in those roles, but I haven't heard anything else about any of the other things. So
I mean, the two of them are basically perfect in most of what they do.
Yeah.
So they're both amazing actresses. So I'm not surprised by that. It was always the black dude I think we were worried about.
Kevin Hart is Roland?
Yes, thank you. That's why.
Kevin Hart's like 5'4". Roland's supposed to be a big guy.
And he's also not like a jokey haha, like he's Roland the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one thing if it was like Roland was the comic relief of the show, like Claptrap, but that's not who he is.
No.
So that it's because you can make like it would have been like Terry Crews would have made perfect sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So
sometimes you grab for the big name and it doesn't make no sense.
Speaking of movies, I did finally see this week. I saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I still have not seen it.
I'll put it this way. It was much better than I thought it would be.
So much better than the first Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yes. However, I'm assuming they're going to try making a sequel.
I'm sure they will.
I'd be highly skeptical of a sequel working because, like, this one was just the perfect balance of, like, campiness and, like, interaction with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything had to go just exactly right for it to be a good movie. Where I'd say something like John Wick, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's kind of a little more straightforward. I mean, a badass action, Keanu Reeves doing his thing.
Yeah.
You kind of know what you're getting. Mission Impossible, pretty similar. Like, you know Tom Cruise is going to do his crazy thing. You know Simon Pegg's going to be there for comic relief. Ving Rhames is going to be like, Ethan, are you sure this is a good idea? You kind of know what you're getting. Yeah. Versus, like, the Dungeons and Dragons, it balances everything just right. They throw off, like, any one of those little things, and it's just going to not be very good, is my worry. So that's my worry. They try making a sequel. It's just, I think it'll be extremely hard to recapture what worked in the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was everything, honestly.
Right.
I just don't know how they're going to do that again because it's really hard to do those type of things. Because normally they start leaning into one thing like, oh, people love the humor, so we're going to add more campy potty humor. And then it becomes a character of itself.
Right.
That's my worry when they do a sequel. But still, I definitely recommend watching it.
Sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to do what we love to do every single show, and that is to give a shout-out to all those amazing individuals that help Ultra Confusion be the Ultra Confusion you love and deserve. And I swear to God, at some point, I'm going to remember to fix this fucking background so you don't see half of my face and Zealeus' face while we do Friends of the Show. But until the day that I actually remember to do that, let's start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the one and only Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wet Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. Let's talk about the individual who can help get all those aches and pains after those long gaming sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now let's talk about the music maestro himself. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Ultra Confusion? CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to the OG, the original gangster, the first backer and supporter of Ultra Confusion in so many ways, and that, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in game development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now I know, ladies and gentlemen, that you are just dying to know, how do you become a friend of the show? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to report, if I could get my computer to behave, I am happy to report that Ultra Confusion survives in the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, mummies, vampires, werewolves, swamp creatures, undiscovered civilizations, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 different tiers. The $1 a month tier, that's $1 a month or $12 a year tier. And what that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts and polls to help shape the future of Ultra Confusion. Now, if you're feeling a little bit frisky, there's also a $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only do you get everything at the $1 level, but you also get your name or organization added to the thank you section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, what you need to do is go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion and be a patron today. Now, of course, the other shout out that's the most important to us is, ladies and gentlemen, Altered Confusion is excited, nay, proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 12 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump back into the topics. All right, so there are two. Actually, let's do this, and then we'll do the two community questions here, because I've got two questions that were asked by community members. But let's do this one first. And there's been additional information about Starfield that has come out recently. And the fact is that apparently the NDA that everyone had to sign if you're working on Starfield is effing insane. And there's only one person who could actually give you any real information about Starfield that hasn't been officially released by the company. The art director has been asked several bajillion questions about, the look, the feel, all that stuff. And he took to Twitter recently and said, I really do want to tell you guys about this amazing game. But unfortunately, the NDA that I signed along with the rest of the individuals at this company prohibits us from telling you anything. If there's a question out there that the company wants to answer, then it will come from one specific person. Otherwise, there's no information that you're going to be able to get out of this. That's intense.
I mean, it makes it easy. Like, I guess that way you don't have to skirt the line of like, what am I allowed to say and not say? You're just like, can't talk about it. Problem solved.
Yeah. There's only one person who can talk about it.
Yeah,
Find that person, get them drunk, and then have them just explain everything to you.
I'm interested, but at the same time, kind of like, if it's as large as they say it is, like,
it's gonna be a job.
Yeah, just to play that.
Yeah.
So same thing with the Star Wars game, whatever it's called. Like, it's supposed to be absolutely ginormous.
Yeah.
So it's like the huge open, and the problem you always have, like with these huge open world games, is the content actually interesting?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it just going to be like big open worlds with like random go kill 10 bug quest, and that's all there is to it? So how do you take huge open worlds and make them interesting? It's kind of the quantity over quality. I'd much rather have a smaller, concentrated world with small good content than lots of big useless waste of content. I mean, it's definitely a game I definitely have my eye on.
Yes. Same here.
I think a lot of gamers also have their eye on it, are very intrigued by the proposition of the game. I'm curious to see where it goes. And will we get to hear anything about it before launch? Will this mysterious, mythical one person grace us with the knowledge to be able to talk about the game?
True. To be honest with you, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'd rather, yes, in a perfect world, I would love to have a huge world to run around in and explore. But if it's literally, my fear is that with the size of the rumored size of the planets and the variety of them, that you're going to find there are going to be planets that almost every single gamer is going to go visit, and there's going to be other ones that no one gives a shit about because why would we go there?
No, it's a good point because you see that case in most MMOs.
Yeah,
because it's probably the most analogous thing where, maybe your first time through, you kind of forced or you have to visit all the lands, whatever it is.
Yeah,
But it's so normal where after a certain incubation period, those lands are now empty. So it's kind of what is the drawing power of all these crazy worlds?
Yeah,
if there's nobody there. Or if they're like useless, because also inevitably it happens, and this was the blessing and curse of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Inevitably, people are going to find it's going to be known as the only good world to visit because every other world gives 2% less EXP.
Yeah.
So you're a noob and a loser if you go to any of these other worlds with this one perfect meta world. That's always what happens too. So maybe that's actually a game I just ignored social media for to play it because it just pissed me off.
Yeah, I've found that if I really am interested in a game, I do not follow people for social media for that. Like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, yes, now I see things pop up here and there and whatnot, but before I got the game and during like the early stages of me playing the game, I refused to look at anything related. Although I did, I am heartbroken over my last playthrough. I haven't beaten the game, but a huge twist was revealed to me, and now I'm sad.
Did you kill Zelda's horse?
No. I'm still riding Zelda.
Okay, good. Just making sure because that would be very sad if you stopped writing.
No.
Okay.
No. Anyway.
That's all I care about.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see what this game's about. I just don't know. It's gonna have to be magical because, like I said, what's the point of going to this world over that world?
Even did they spend so much time on making masterful procedurally generated worlds where they forgot about combat? And how much of a storyline are you going to have with these worlds? Is there going to be a storyline?
Right.
With these magical worlds, or is it going to be like Zealeus, where it's you just go kill things instantly, and there's nothing else you care about.
You're just an exotic alien creature hunter.
Ooh, so basically, Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
perfect.
But on different planets.
Ooh, that would actually be kind of cool.
It would be cool. You're like, look what I killed on this planet.
Hopefully, it's better than the movie.
I still refuse to watch the movie, so.
Oh, it was absolute trash.
I've heard.
It was.
I've heard.
It was. You know the worst part about it is?
They had to rope some army piece into the movie?
Oh, no, I could live with that. The entire premise of the entire damn show, of the video game is fighting fucking monsters with really cool weapons.
Yeah.
It happens a little bit in the actual show. It's always kind of teased.
Uh-huh.
And in the scene where it's all four of them have their really cool glowing weapons and they're all going to go attack the big lizard. Cut the credits. It's fuck y'all. No, this is that's literally what happened. You get to the scene where it's going to be the badass fight and it's over. I'm like,
I've played some games where you've got that build up and finally the big twist is revealed. You're like, oh yeah, now let's get into it. It's like credits. You're like, what the? The big reveal is how you end the game. I now feel like I'm a part of this world. That the mystery of exactly where I came from has been solved, and now I could truly get into the world that's been being corrupted during the entire game. No, that's not how it works. Mother effer.
Damn you.
Okay, speaking of video games, because we rarely talk
Hey,
about
we're
video
here
games.
to talk about video games. What
Yeah.
madness is this, sir?
All right, so a question was asked, and everyone's got their own opinion. So let's ask Zealeus, what needs to be in a special edition of a game for you to shell out the extra cash?
That's a tricky question because on one hand, what would make the special edition worth it would be like extra cool gear for my character.
Mm-hmm.
Like give me a leg up. But on the other hand, that would kind of also piss me off because like, wait, you want me to shell out like an extra 10 to 20 bucks just to get this extra cool gear you can't get otherwise? That's some bull hunky.
I guess like maybe some like eye candy stuff, but I mean, I'm not really in it for like the soundtrack, unless of course it's a super giant game, and then I'm definitely in for the fucking soundtrack. I don't know. Like, some of these games, like, oh, if you pay the extra $10, you'll get a bigger backpack so you can carry more gear. But that's not, that's once again.
The other problem with those incentives, though, is a lot of times I don't know I need that bigger backpack till I played like hours of the game.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like now you play, it's like, oh, now I need this additional content, but I didn't know at the time.
It's like you get to run around in the golden armor. Okay.
Woohoo!
You get the exclusive Hell Horse mount that you can't get otherwise.
Is it made of flames?
Its flames shoot out its nostrils every single time you try to put it into a gallop.
Bullshit, I'm sold.
Here's fire! Ha ha! Fire! No, I think if it's kind of more like a bundle deal where I know the content's going to come out, and so if I were to pay for like the deluxe edition or whatever, and so I will already be locked in for the season 1 pass of DLC or something. So I will end up having a discount. I have to pay a premium at the front, but I'll end up, not having to shell out as much money to make sure that my game is as complete as it can be. Then maybe I'd do that. If I believe in the developer.
No, that I could buy. I think I've actually done that for Destiny 2, honestly, in the past.
Yeah.
I think I did that at one time when I played it. Because it made sense. So I could see that. You know what else I think people would actually do a lot of? It's never going to happen because it take from the bottom line.
Yeah.
Is if like a certain percentage of your additional cost went to like a charity. And the reason I think of that is because back when fans loved Overwatch, is they did the Mercy pink skin, where all the proceeds from that skin went to cancer research.
Yep.
And like even people who didn't play Mercy or at all are like, this is cool. I'm buying this skin.
Yep.
So something like that, and it gives a lot of great PR to the company. Let's be honest.
Of course.
So like if there's a publisher who did that, because it would be an extremely unique way. I think in a way, I mean, I'm obviously not a bean counter, so I'm talking out my ass, but at a certain point, like if we do it right, by giving a percentage of that to charity, you'd probably actually come out ahead in the end because so many additional people purchased that additional content who would not have otherwise.
Right. I agree. Yep.
I think that'd be pretty cool. And if like you became almost like a publisher who is known for doing that, I think gamers would actually be like, this company is cool.
I tell you one thing that I will never get behind, and that's the digital art books. Like, I've got so many free PDF files for like random shit that I still have never even looked at, but they're on my hard drive. But
yeah,
it's like here's the free PDF version of the book you just ordered. Great. I'm gonna read the book when it gets here.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree.
if it's something as cool as like the the art of this world, I want the hardback. I want the physical hardback copy, so
You
I
know
can
what I'd
ooh
actually
and
rather
ah it.
have
Huh?
is instead of like a physical hardback book, because I know a lot of them do that, is like here's a 16 by 20 poster
Ooh, yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
Because again, a book is just going to stay on my bookshelf and just kind of sit there and collect dust most in all likelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Versus it was actually like a cool piece of artwork, because I know you have some pretty cool like video game artwork.
Yeah.
Something like that, I'd actually be much more liable to now be a literal advertisement for your game in my condo by hanging that.
Yeah. No.
Is
Yes,
how
yeah.
so I think that would actually be pretty cool to have a neat piece of artwork. The other thing always gets to me is also the price difference.
Yeah.
Like if you get like an additional like the flaming steed for like, $5 additional, I think most people would be like, sure, it's gonna be cool, but for $5, why not?
Yeah.
But it's like $20, $30. It's like, oh, I don't know about that.
It's the Flaming Steed pack. It gives you the horse, the saddle, the bridle. You could change the texture and color of its mane. It has a unique sounds for the way that its hooves hit the ground, and how it neighs, and every once in a blue moon, it will fart rainbows.
Ooh,
$25.
I honestly didn't realize that that's like the normal price of digital content now.
Yeah.
Because Diablo 4, I was like, man, these prices are kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then start looking at other games like Path of Exile, which granted it's different because Path of Exile is a free-to-play game.
Right.
So I think that gives you a very different slant. But you look at it and like, especially because their big thing are like the companions, like who walk with you and shit.
Yeah.
They're all like 15, 20, $25.
Mm-hmm.
And people always like, yep, Valorant and other games, like skins are just as much, if not more.
Yep.
So I didn't even realize that skins had become so freaking expensive.
And we all know how Charlie feels about skins in a first-person shooter game.
And it's always a little bit of like, okay, I could get the skin for $20, or I could play the entire freaking Witcher 3 for like $10 on sale.
Yeah.
So, like, even though I've honestly never played The Witcher 3, it's always in the back of my mind of just, fuck. Did I disconnect?
No.
Oh, okay. My Twitch froze. It's always like in the back of my mind, like, even if I really want the skin, I'm still like, it's hard to justify that $20 skin when it's like more than twice the price of an entire bloody video game.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes, I blame you, Geralt, for being such a great video game player and being such a great grunter. I have watched the first half of The Witcher 3. Or, sorry, wow, The Witcher Season 3.
I still have not. Like I said, as I told Zealeus before the show, I have been rewatching huge chunks of Doctor Who. I went all the way through all of the Matt Smith episodes. Now I'm in the final season of Capaldi's episodes. So I definitely need to. I've got a bunch of shows I need to watch, and then of course there's a bunch of stuff that I need to do as well. I did post the flawed card game interview. I just finished editing Aaron's gift interview. I'm going to be working on Kittens versus Corgis interview. So I unfortunately, and I apologize ahead of time for all the individuals that I have that were interviewed at MomoCon. I'm just going to post the interview since there are so many, since it's been way too effing long. But yeah.
Just trying to get it out there.
Just trying to get it out there right now.
Oh, I hear that.
It's because we're dropping frames. Oh, we did disconnect for like 2 minutes ago. Interesting.
Okay, so that's when I started cursing because I thought like I disconnected, but
No. I'm assuming we're back because I see that we have viewers again. So, anywho.
yeah.
Okay. So the final question that was asked, and I think this is just because of actually the answer to this question is it won't happen while everyone's on effing strike. But you know how Hollywood's always starving for, new source material and all that stuff. There was a question that a person has asked, basically saying, what if instead of trying to make the 37th bajillionth sequel of some franchise or rebooting the franchise for the 5th or 6th time, what if we just took a look at movies that had incredible potential but then were absolute horseshit when they came to the big screen, that were based on existing properties, like they were based on books or based on video games? Why can't we just give those a second try? So, Zealeus, can you think of anything off the top of your head that you would think that should have been so good, but it was so bad, let's give it a second chance?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. My brain farted on it. It's literally the game movie we were talking about 5 minutes ago that I absolutely hate.
Monster Hunter?
Yes. Like, there you go. There's a case in point. If you're absolutely terrible movie that, okay. So like earlier I was talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and I think it's very hard to make a good Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter should not be that difficult. You literally throw some big beefy people, one hot chick together which I love Mila, don't get me wrong. Throw her together a big arena, just having to go fight lizards for 2 hours.
Yep.
People are like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do. It's not that difficult. Army aside, like they could have bought the army, like that wasn't even the issue. It was terrible. So that would be my first one. Like, yeah, go redo Monster. But the problem I foresee is to the questions. Part of the question is, if you notice, most sequels are based off of popular entries.
Right.
Hollywood doesn't want to take a chance. And it's like, oh, something wasn't popular. You don't want to remake something that wasn't popular because you have to stay to that, and it wasn't popular. So why would the sequel or reboot be popular unless you're a superhero franchise? Because of contractual reasons, you have to reboot it every X number of years to keep those copyright laws to continue to make it under your production studio.
Right. No, yes, I agree. That you're not going to see a studio. I think it would really. I don't think that a studio would go at it again off of a bad movie they released. I think, and this would never. It'd be tricky to make it work, but it would need to be a different studio. So it's their first foray into whatever the IP is.
I think it would have to be based off of a established intellectual property for another medium, meaning something like, for instance, Monster Hunter could be remade years from now because that's an established video game franchise.
Right, absolutely, right.
But if Monster Hunter was made in a vacuum and the video game did not exist, like that would never be remade at that point, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm trying to think there of some books that turned into movies. Now, I never watched the movie Mortal Engines, but
I did not. I heard it was trash.
Yes, the books are amazing.
I'm still waiting for a good. Another good one would be The Dark Tower.
I heard that movie was trash.
Never saw it, but again, phenomenal book series. And I've said this many times on the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books where I don't need to see them made into TV series or movies. My perfect example is The Name of the Wind. I honestly don't want to see it made into a TV series because it's so perfect as a book that to me, it doesn't need to be in another medium. That's just kind of how I look at art.
I could see that. I mean, the thing is that there's definitely, I feel like if you have like a really well crafted book, that it's become more and more apparent to me in my old crotchety elderly years that most of these books deserve, at bare minimum, a mini-series treatment instead of trying to shove that entire book into a movie, because it never works unless, of course, you're going to allow for like what was the movie back when we were little? Oh, was it Gettysburg, which literally had like an intermission in the middle of it because it was like 6.5 hours long or something.
I mean, I think it worked for the Harry Potter movies pretty well. I mean, I know things were left out due to time constraints.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I think those actually worked out really well as far as staying
close enough,
true to the books.
Close enough to the books.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's differences. We all acknowledge that. But I think, to me, that's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
That, that was a phenomenal take on the series, mainly because Peter Jackson was phenomenal as a director for the three. And
has he done anything since? Or did Peter Jackson retire or die? Or
no, I made my masterpiece. I'm good.
I made my magnum opus. Therefore, screw all of y'all. I'm going to go just live in my castle made of money.
Probably could have. Although the way Hollywood accounting works, who knows if you could actually afford a bungalow.
True. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up to see if he's actually doing anything because, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But, like, I'm trying to think if there's like a failed franchise that I would want, or failed movie that's based off of another property that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Oh no shit. He's the producer for I'm never going to be able to pronounce this, but Temeraire, which is a book by Novak. I think. Hold on. I know, dead air on at the end of a podcast. Naomi Novik.
Oh, the Dragon series.
Yeah. He's going to produce the first one.
Oh, yeah, I've read those years ago. She actually has another very interesting series I just finished called A Deadly Education, which is basically take Harry Potter, put it in the dark forest. Oh, by the way, there's no teachers. That's the best way I can describe it.
Oh, there's another Naomi Novik book that I read. It's just a standalone. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head now.
Yeah, that one, the Temeraire, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. I read that years ago.
Well, it first came out 2006.
It's at least 10 years. I think I only read like the first 3, and I'm pretty sure there's more books in the series than that.
Uprooted was the book I read.
The problem I've read a fair number of her books. My only issue I have is she tends to ramble.
What good sci-fi fantasy writer doesn't, though?
There's definitely some massive rambling at times. And at a certain point, like, oh my gosh, we just move on to the next thing in life already. But yes, you are right. She is far, far from alone.
Yeah.
in the massive rambling because you must extrapolate upon the meaning of this tree and why is this a tree and this bark and it has the color of this bark and but this piece of bark that's 2 centimeters below it has a different scent and here's why. So yes, that's a thing.
But not quite the Terry Brooks level. I sit at the table in the castle made of stone, the stone coming from the quarry that is now closed because 19,000 years ago there was a dragon attack and that dragon happened to be red and it smelled like cinnamon. You're just like, oh my God, we're just talking about fucking table.
See, you too could be a old school fantasy author. Who knew?
Damn straight. I can go off on tangents. Let me show you this one object that has no relevance whatsoever for the story, but we're going to take a chapter just to tell you how it smells.
Damn it, you're not Tolkien. Stop
it. And it turns out, after my 10-book series, that one object that I made mention of, the smell of that object, was actually what was needed to defeat the final evil.
So it's a fantasy series. It's called like The Great Book of Malzahn.
Uh-huh.
And apparently it's like a 12-book series. It's something crazy.
Uh-huh.
And supposedly the books are like phenomenal. The problem, at least for me, the problem that when I write about it, because it always comes up on my list, is like each book is basically like this whole start of like 6 new like countries, and they all have their own characters. So like every single book, you're having to like reorganize your own mental thought. Like, who are all these people in these books? I don't remember. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I don't think I could do that. Apparently they're great.
Who's the author?
It's like, if you look up Malzahn, it's like Malazam, I think, or something like that. It's the name of the book.
Hold on, spell it one more time. M-A.
I'm trying to look it up if I can remember it. There you go. It's Malzahn, the Book of the Fallen series is what it's called.
Got it. It is by Stephen Erickson.
Yeah. Apparently, like, they're phenomenal in their own right, but when you read, like, the details and descriptions, it's pretty intense is what I've read. Gotcha. I'm just like, I'm not that smart.
I got you. You don't have enough space like you used to map out everything.
Yeah, I have, from reading the description, it sounds like you almost need to like have like a journal of who everyone is to keep track of.
No, you need a push pin board the length of your back wall.
Yes.
With a bunch of red yarn that you could, pull together all these things.
Am I reading a book or am I trying to solve a murder?
Both.
Ooh.
Because it turns out that one scullery maid from book 2 is actually the queen in disguise at the end of the book.
Yeah, it was another series I was reading. I'm actually almost finished with it. And like, there's this character, and there's a mysterious character. And the entire time, like, it didn't take long to figure out who this character is. So I'm like, this is obviously this person's parent. Like, duh. And like for like 3 books, there was this great mystery of who this character was. I'm like, it's their mom. It's their mom. Damn it, it's their mom. Just get it over with already. It's pretty fucking obvious.
Okay, I know we're basically out of time, but I do want to ask this question because I know that I've done this. But Zealeus, have you ever gotten to? I think you just revealed that you have. But have you ever actually yelled back at your book, like?
Yes. No, this book, I've 100% done that. Okay, so the book series, what the hell is the book series called? It's that, I mean, this is another topic, but like you start reading a series, and at a certain point, it's like, damn it, I'm this far in, so I'm gonna just finish it.
Yep.
There we go. This series, it's called Ember in the Ashes.
Ember in the Ashes, okay.
Yeah, it's a young adult fiction book, which I'm perfectly fine reading young adult fiction books. I do it all the time.
Yep.
The problem with this series, on a whole, all the characters are just like they continually make stupid, dumb decisions in their first-person perspectives, and they're like I'm going to make this decision. And I'm like, no, this is dumb. Why would you do this? In the very next line, the character's like, I know this probably won't work, but by golly, I'm going to try it anyways. I'm going to overcome the odds. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to fail and wonder why you failed. The next chapter is, oh, I failed again. And after a while, I'm like, and my problem is like, I get it. And I think I got as far as I did because, like, it's a normal thing, particularly in our fantasy books, where, like, you know, you get beaten by the evil king overlord and you get exiled. You must overcome the odds. So I totally get it. Like, it's a very normal trope, no problem.
Yeah.
But after a while, it's like there has to be a payoff for being cast down. And when you just continually, time and time again, and then, like, when this other dumb character in the book ends up being the savior because they're truly the strongest person alive, I'm like, no. Have you actually read your own character? They're a stupid, idiotic person who I wouldn't want to save a fly.
I don't know what
that other thing where, like, the truly strongest person is the person who's strong of heart. I'm like, no, they're not. They're a weakling, and we get squashed by, like, any other warrior in this entire damn series.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. Perhaps we have a show that in our future just to talk about sci-fi fantasy novels, because I think we could go on for quite a while with that.
Yes.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything on our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultimate Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
And remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.